This conference will now be recorded.
In the last session, we were discussing about Customer Master, and we discussed about the first screen of Customer Master, which is account groups and the complete general data, right? So today, let us discuss some more tabs in Customer Master. So if your server is from Himanshu, please text him. He has got a new server. The old server got formatted and the new server is ready to use. So please text him so that you could get the new details. Okay. So because in the last system, we could not see the standards and we are not able to proceed. So please text him and you can get the new credentials.
I think, Praveen, I have 7.6. So can I 7 year actually?
Not about the UI. The complete system itself is a new system because if you see in the account groups, we're not able to see the standards, right? The 0001, 2, 3, or 4. We are not able to see these all things.
Yes.
There are lots of junk created in the old system. So he has provided a new server details. So please get in touch with him so that you could get this new access. Okay, just send an email to me.
Okay, sure.
Right? Yeah. So XD01. So we have discussed in the last session, whenever we're creating a customer, first we select account groups, right? So why we select account groups? Because account group controls how the customer is controlled. That means account group control the field status of customer master. What field to be mandatory, what field to be there or not there. So these all things are controlled by account groups, right? So first we select account groups. But you see this field here, customer, we are leaving this field blank. Okay, we are not entering anything here. And whenever we are creating a customer, we are leaving this particular field blank and we just entered our details, the org elements and press enter. The system says external number. Even this is someone has to, but okay, let us go back quickly and change it to something. Okay, see there is a concept called as number ranges. That means whenever we are creating a customer, so we could tell system what number system should assign to that particular customer. Okay. So where is that control? That is controlled in the account groups. You see here, there is something called as number ranges. And excuse me one moment, please. So number ranges. And how do we access number ranges? We access number ranges with a T code called as XDN1. XDN1 is the T code for number ranges, and you click on the intervals. Here it will show you the range. You see? So these are serial numbers 01, 02, 03, 04. These are serial numbers, and the serial numbers is having some range. That means in this serial number we can create customers from 1 to 99999, whatever it is. Okay. One to 999. That's what we could create here. So this particular range, what we do is we assign it into the account groups. If I go to OVT0 and if I go to the details, you see here the number range is assigned here. And whenever we are creating a customer, so whenever we are creating a customer, HD01, we leave this field blank. The customer, the number field, we leave blank and press enter after it. System shows a message here saying that customer is internal. So what is this internal? So whenever we create a customer number could be either generated by the system internally. That means we fill all this data And when we click on save button, system itself will generate the customer number. Okay, system itself will generate the customer number and show you what is the customer number. Okay. There is one more concept, that is external number range. That means before even we proceed with the customer, here itself, the first screen itself, we enter the customer number. So if it is external, then even before we proceed, we need to tell system what is this customer you are trying to create. That is external. So how does system know what should be the range and everything? That is through this concept called as number ranges. That means now if I'm trying to create a customer, so system should assign some range between this, some number between this. Okay, it should be assigned between this particular. And how does system know whether it's internal or external? If you scroll to the little right, or let me squeeze this. You see here, by default, the number range will be internal. Okay, by default, the number range will be internal. And if you wish to mark it as external, then you have to specifically activate this. If you activate this, then it says it is a external. If you leave this blank, then this is internal. So if it is external, as I told you, we have to enter the number even before we proceed. Even before we proceed. So if I go back to account groups and change the number range, in the account group, let's say if I assign here 01, 01, and if I try to create a customer, you see system stops us. Earlier system has allowed us to proceed and system says it is internal. But now system stops us and system says that this sold-to party 001 account group is using a external number range and specify a number. So system is asking us to enter the number here. So if I enter a number, okay, so we know what is the range here available, right? So I'll try to create some number. I'll just try to give some number. Maybe something random number.
Sir, could you please change the background color?
It's available. What's that? These themes come with only this color. This particular theme comes with only this color. Okay. If I change the theme, then it will re back to the older version.
Okay.
So yeah, what is the number range? So I'll take the last number. I'll give some number here. So 249 has already been created for company. This number is already available. These are pretty old series actually. So you see, even like before we proceed, okay, this is also already existing customer actually. This 12999 are already system used actually. Okay, so we could also create a sum series. Usually, you don't need to create a new series in the training system. You could use the existing one, or else what you could do is you could delete some series and again you can make up your own series. Maybe I'll take this series. Let's see how this works. X and X. If I go, okay, let me take X and X and see. OVT 0, OVT 0, and sold to party. Just change the series to XX and save. And now let me try to create a customer. The customer is the screen, right? So HD01, and it is asking for a number, like anything between AZ. I'll just use a number. range it is A to ZZZ. So let us take some number. Enter. Yeah, now you see, even before we proceed, okay, even before we proceed with the customer, we already know what is the number for this customer. Okay, we already know what is the number for customer here. Okay, so this is external, but external usually we don't use it for the regular customers. External number we use it for a concept called as one-time customer. There is a concept called as one-time customer. So only for this one-time customer we will be using this particular external number range. If not, usually it will be always a internal series. NR status. So what is this NR? If you face any question from this particular concept, it will be this will be only the question they ask in interviews. What is NR status? So what is NR status here? NR status is the current number being used. Okay, in this particular range, if I start using, so it starts from the first number, right? Or else if it is 1 to 999. So if it is internal and create a customer, system automatically assigns a number saying that 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, it will increment until 9999, right? So what is the current number being used? That is, we can identify by NR status. And you see here, some checkboxes are still active. We can change them, but some checkboxes are grayed out. You are not allowed to change it. And whatever is allowing us to change, the number NR status will be 0. You see this? All the zeros, you still have an option to switch between internal and external. That means even a single customer is created under this particular range, you will not able to switch to external or internal. It will be freeze, and that particular range will be continuous with only that particular. Either it could be internal or either it could be external. Right? So this is a number range concept. What is account groups? Account group controls the field status of customer master. Account group controls number ranges of customer master. So whenever we are creating a customer, why we are selecting this particular account groups? The reason is account group controls field status of customer master, and account group controls number ranges and many more things as well. Account group controls. Right? So I talked about this particular one-time customer, right? One-time customer. One-time customer, the account group by default is we should have one more icon there. This UI is little new. So CPD, CPDA. You see this? CPD and CPDA. So if I'm trying to create a customer with, let's say, CPDA or CPD, one-time customer, here you see the checkbox. How system knows this is a one-time customer? That is through activation of this this particular checkbox. And what is the difference between an internal, like the customer, and external, what we are creating, or a one-time customer? So if I go for CPDA here, XD01, and if I go for account group as CPDA, then system will obviously ask us to enter the number because this is using a external number range, right? And if I'm trying to create some customer here, you see system, now we are trying to create a one-time customer under CPDA and this particular. And you see there is no data, anything, nothing else except the name. System is not asking the phone number, email, or anything else here, right? Let's say you go to Big Bazaar or you go to Costco. Are they asking you all details, your shipping address and other details, email? Maybe they ask you phone number, but any other details they ask before you bill?
No, sir.
No other details, right? Because you are a one-time customer. There is no guarantee or there is no sure you have to return to that store again in the lifetime, right? In the retail industry, it's not possible for you to collect all the data, right? So you're a one-time customer to the store and they don't ask any other detail. They just ask you only this particular they ask only about the phone number, that is to just send promotions. If not, they don't ask your tax details or any other details, right? They are one-time customer. So what happens if it is a one-time customer? Okay, let me just create one-time customer, maybe 6 month. Okay, anything it could be. Okay, if anything it could be something random. I'll create here. Okay, so I'll just save this. And okay, maybe system is asking for 1 or 2 mandatory fields. Let us fill those fields. Return account, anything it could be. The tax classifications. One moment, for some reason. Okay, and we go to the partner here. Customer is being created, AZZ, right? Let me save it. The customer name is AZZ under this sales area. Right, a customer AZZ has been created, and if I create an order for this customer, so what is the major difference between internal and external? That is, if it's internal, all the data we have stored in the customer master, and we enter the customer number here, system will pull all the data. But if it is a external, you see, system asks for the address field itself. That means the address is stored in the customer order itself. There is no customer master data for internal customer. We don't maintain any other data. We just only use this external number. And this is also called as reusable customer. This is also called as a reusable customer, because see, I'll fill all the details. So here itself, we can fill all the customer details and save it. And again, if I create one more order with AZZ, again, system opens this form and I can enter the new details of the new customer. So one-time customer is also called as a reusable customer. And for that, system asks for all the address and other details in the sales order itself, and it will be saving in the sales order itself. There is no master data. There is no master data in the sense we don't save any data in the customer master. But if it's internal, we save all the details, but system will like determine all the data when we enter the customer number here. So that's a major difference between internal and external. So in the interest also, they may ask a question, that is, we have created a sales order. Sorry, if the customer data is changed, okay, in the customer master, if you change something, what data will be affected in already created sales order? Okay, what data will be affected in already created sales order if something is changed in the customer master? Only address. Doesn't matter if the sales order is created 10 years back, only address will be updated into the sales order, already created sales order, from the customer master. If something is changed in the customer master, nothing else will be updated except the address. Right. So let's go ahead, creating the customer master. HD0. I'll do one thing. I'll go to the change mode and HD02. Let us discuss on an existing customer. But you create a customer, everyone. Please create one customer at least and check how it's working. So we finished discussing about all this general data. The next is company code data. When we go to the company code data is completely FI, right? That's what we have seen. It's completely FI. And reconciliation account. So reconciliation account. So in the interviews, they majorly focus only on the integrations because as a consultant in the ERP, you should know more about the integrations. So they ask lots of questions on the integrations in the interviews. And this question is very frequent, reconciliation account or recon account. So what is reconciliation account? I'll just tell you in the standard terminology. Reconciliation account means balancing. That means amount leaving an account should be the exact where it is getting posted. Let's say if I transfer $100 to your account, you should receive $100, right? Not anything more than that or less than that, right? So amount debited from an account should be the same amount credited to the other account. That is reconciliation or balancing. So whenever we create a sales order, whenever we create an invoice, so an invoice will be generated and sent to the customer. Okay, whenever we create an invoice will be created and it is sent to the customer. And there will be an accounting entry document generated. That means, let's say, if you use your bank account to transfer some amount to any account, what is the status at your bank? Anyone? What system shows at your account? Debit or credit? Debited, right? If you transfer the amount, your account will get debited, and wherever that amount is posted, that account will get credited. So whenever we raise an invoice to the customer, what happens? Customer account will get debited because customer has to pay to the company. To revenue account credited, that has to be posted into the business accounts. So when we're talking about bank, it is nothing but bank account, right? Our bank account. So the same way, when we are talking here about the business, it is general ledger account. So to post this customer debit values, from where system considers this general ledger account? Reconciliation account. Okay, this recon account, whatever we are mentioning here, that is the account system considers to post the customer's debit values. And to post the credit values, system considers from the configuration called as revenue account determination. That we later will discuss, but from the revenue account determination, system takes the credit values. And this is called as financial accounting entry. There will be two kinds of accounting entries. One is financial accounting entry and one is inventory accounting entry. Financial accounting entry happens at the company code level. In the interviews also they may ask this question, what accounting entry happens at the company code level? So financial accounting entry will happen, and this is the accounting entry, whatever will be generated. And from where system considers the GL account to post the customer's debit value for the invoice, that is reconciliation account. What is reconciliation account? As I told you, you can either just Google it, or let me show you something very important, documents. So you all received the documents, right, by email, and there is a G drive folder, final docs. I hope you downloaded the documents. In that, there is a folder called as A to Z. So whatever the possible glossary of SAP SD from A to Z, it is already documented with the definitions. Okay, everything, every terminology. This is very, very important documents. Take a printout because this will also help you for a standard answer in the interviews. If they ask a question, it will be very, very helpful for you to give a standard answer in the interview. So you could see everything mentioned here, like account group. Just now we are discussing account groups, right? BDC, the last session we have discussed, bill to party. Any terminology, the most like possible glossary of SD module is already with client. Everything documented with a standard definition. So this will help you for interview purpose. So let us also see reconciliation and OPQRS. Okay, it should be here. Reconciliation. So please take a printout of this document so that you will be knowing this particular standard definition, exact answers what you can give it in the interviews. Reconciliation account, right? Payer, payee, MNOP, QR. It should be somewhere actually. I hope it should be in the A, maybe accounting reconciliation or something, the name. You can either Google it anyway, but let us check what is written here. Or GL.
Account reconciliation.
Is it available here somewhere?
Yes,
Yeah, you
yes.
see here,
Account
account
reconciliation.
reconciliation, right? It is available here. Procedure for ensuring the adequacy of the accounting for GL account balances are compared with the balances of the posted business transactions, right? That's a standard definition. You don't need this much of like tough answer. You could make it simplified, but a standard answer is available. Whatever the terminology we will be using throughout the SD module, this is the complete glossary. Very important documents. Take a printout and just have it with you. This will help you to find out a standard answer for any question in the SAP SD. Okay, so that is reconciliation. This is only the field what we need here. So let's go to the sales area data. This is a new system, so it's taking a little time to open. We should also change the idle time. So XD02, I'll go with the standard customer 1000. Okay, 1000 process transaction. Currently blocked. Okay. Okay, so this is also good. See, whenever you are practicing, everyone of us practice on the same system, right? We are taking system from one service provider and we are multiple users in a single system. So whenever you are practicing, you will be facing some error, some message like this. That is, this transaction or this configuration is blocked by some user like this. Okay, it will show because no two users can use the same transaction at the same time, obviously. So if one user is already using it, for other users, system shows in log and system says you can open it in the display mode. You cannot create or change, but you can view it. So usually what happens in this training systems is we don't log off. Even I don't do that. So once I'm done with this session, I just leave the system like this. So what are the transactions I used, they keep open here. So if I don't close it, it will not be accessible for other people. The same with you as well. Once you've done your practice, if you don't close your system, so others cannot use the transaction and system will throw a message saying that this transaction is blocked by so and so user. So whenever you find some kind of message like this, if some user is blocking the transaction and if you want to use that particular transaction, so what you could do is go to transaction SM12. Okay, go to the transaction SM12. In the SM12, mention the user name. Whatever the user, the system shows a message, right? This user is blocking. Enter that message user here. So system will show you what are the transaction this user is using and the blocking up. So now, so KNA1, this is what it's blocking. So now what you do is click on this, select all, click on the select all icon and click on delete. Say yes. That's it, done. Okay, so if you face a issue that if some user select all, right? Oh, it's not, this is select all. Okay, so if some user is blocking the transaction and you want to practice the same transaction, this is how you could do it. Go to transaction SM12, give that user name and clear the lock, and now you come back and you can run that transaction. You see, now system is allowing us. So and you will be frequently facing this issue while you are practicing. You could just come over with this. So let's go to the sales area data. In the sales area data, we have 4 tabs: sales, shipping, billing, and partners. In the sales tab, the first field here is sales district, sales office, sales group. So sales office, sales group we created at the time of enterprise structure, but we have not created sales district, right? What is sales district? Sales district is a further drill down of sales office. This is only for reporting purpose. There is no other purpose for sales district. It is only for reporting. It is a further drill down of sales office. So, but where do we create this sales district? Again, going back to the SPRO, as we already discussed, users can only select the values. Users cannot create anything new. So where do we have this configuration? So SPRO, IMG, and sales and distribution, master data under this business partner, under customer. So now we are discussing about sales tab, right? So whatever possible you can create in the sales tab, that you could maintain here. You see, you go to the sales tab, and here you could see what all possible. So sales district is created here. It's an imaginary object only for reporting. It is a drill down of the sales office. So it's created there, and user could maintain it here. So sales office, sales group, under what this customer will belong to. Then customer group. So as we already discussed, for many reasons, we classify customer, we group customer. So why do we do this? Better service, better price, better discount. But basing on various parameters, we do this, right? So this particular customer group, we are grouping customers. On what basis we are grouping customers here? Basing on the volumes they buy, whether wholesalers or retailers, institutionals, right? So basing on the volumes they buy, we group the customers. Why? For the purpose of pricing, all dealers will pay $10, but institutional customers will pay $8, right? It will help for the pricing. At the same time, it will help for the reportings as well. So for many reasons, as I told you, we'll group the customers or we classify the customers. So that is customer group. Then next is currency. If you remember, in the customer master also we have currency. Sorry, in the company code also we have currency. That is company code currency. Let's say if my business is in India, then obviously my company currency will be INR. But I may have customers around the world. If I have a customer from US, my customer currency is dollars. So if I want to send a quotation or invoice to the customer who is in US, in which currency I have to send? Anyone? Can I send it in INR?
US dollar.
US.
Right? Not possible, because customer cannot take a calculator and see what is what, like say 10 crores into US dollars, right? That's not possible. So whenever we send the communication to the customer, we have to send it in the customer currency only. How does system know that customer currency? That will be maintained in the customer master here. And US dollar to, let's say, Indian rupee, it keeps changing, right? There is a exchange rate. So even that exchange rate, we maintain it here. The standard rate is M. Usually this will be maintained by FI. The exchange rate is, this is nothing to do for us SD. FI will do that, but I'll just tell you the transaction code. OC41. OC41, this is where we maintain the exchange rates. Maintain exchange rate. Here where we can tell system 1 pound is equal to how many Indian rupees or yen, whatever it is. We could mention here, because see, in the businesses, it may take little time to take a decision, right? So you cannot send an invoice like a quotation today and ask them to confirm by tomorrow. Maybe a week time or a fortnight or maybe a month or 3 months. The invoice will have the quotation will have a validity. So when you send a quotation today, dollar to India rupees might be 75, but tomorrow or maybe after a week, it might go to the 77 or 80. Right? So it keeps fluctuating every second. So what we do, basing on the history, your finance department will come to a conclusion what we can give the price, whether it's go up or down. That is the price for the next 15 days. And that's the reason invoice has a quotation has a validity. And within that period, if customer don't place a order, then obviously the quotation would be cancelled. So this is where the exchange rate type is maintained, and this is the exchange rates. You can give any value here, and that exchange rate type will be assigned here to the customer. Right. So this is exchange rate. Then next, order probability. Probability means chances of happening. Probability means chances of happening. So customer placing an order, and there is a chance customer can also cancel the order, right? So what is the chance? If this customer place an order, system should confirm the quantity. Let's say every time customer place an order for 100 quantity, but customer cancels it 20 quantity. Now, how much quantity we need to confirm to that customer when he place an order? Anyone? What quantity we have to confirm? Customer place an order 100 every time, but cancels 20 quantity. This happens in, let's say, out of 10 times, maybe 4 to 5 times you do the same thing. So now what quantity we have to confirm to the customer, 100 or 80?
80.
Well, obviously 80, right? That is the probability of the customer. Even the customer places an order for 100, there is a high chance that you will cancel 20 quantity. So now, what is the probability, order probability for this customer? Only 80%. We don't need to confirm 100. We can confirm only 80%, right? But why it is 100% here? Because this is a new customer we are creating. We don't have any past record of this customer. So it shows 80. Okay. And there is one more probability also in the sales document. System will take both the probabilities into consideration, average it, and that's how system comes to a conclusion what quantity to be confirmed to this customer. Okay. So this is order probability. Then item proposal. Item proposal is a quick tool. In entries also they may ask a question. Do we have any quick tools to create order fast in the SAP? You go to a store, you go to Costco, you go to Big Bazaar, any store. How they take your orders? Let's say you put the shopping cart at the billing. How your order is created? How they copy the items into the system? Do they use any tool? Use barcode reader, right? So they just scan the barcode and all the item details will be copied into the system. That's a quick tool which is used. Just imagine if there is no barcode reader and they have to enter all the items manually in the system, how much time it might have taken for them, right? A lot of time. So barcode is a quick tool which will help us to create orders fast. The same way, do we have any quick tools to create orders fast in SAP? Yes, item proposal. And item proposal also solve one more issue. That is, have you observed in this grocery delivery apps or Zomato or any other, you will see a button called as reorder. Anyone, you observe this? There's a button called as reorder.
Yes, yes.
What is the purpose of this reorder button?
Yes, earlier what we have ordered, the same thing will take.
Right. System will show you the previous materials, whatever you ordered. Would you like to order the same thing? Right? This will save a lot of time, right? You don't need to enter all the items, select the quantities. Just click on the reorder, system will show you the previous ordered materials and quantities. And if you don't want some item, you could just ignore that and the other items will be copied into the sales document. That means it will save a lot of time. That means if we know customers' buying behavior, okay, let's say if my business sells 10 items, but out of the 10 materials, there is a customer who plays always material 1, material 3, material 5, material 7, material 9. And with the same quantities, maybe 100. So we sell 10 materials, but this customer order only these 5 materials with the same quantities every time. So once if I know this buying behavior of the customer and I set up this particular item proposal, it will save a lot of time, right? It will serve two purposes. One is it saves the data entry work for the users. At the same time, it will also eliminate manual errors. Instead of 10 quantity, if user has created order for 100 quantity, what happens? That's an error, right? So item proposal will help us to create orders fast. At the same time, it will also reduce entering the data entry, and it will also help us to eliminate the user or manual entry mistakes, right? So where do we maintain this item proposal? That's a configuration item proposal. Just show you. It's just a very small configuration, one-page configuration. Study material I'll show you. VA41 or 51 something, the number. It should be in T35. Item proposal. Which page it is? 351. No. Item proposal 237. Yeah. So VA51, this is the menu path where we go and maintain the item proposal, and we assign it to the sales document type. And so you see here, this is how it works. Serial number, what material customer is buying, and how much quantity every time customer is buying. So we maintain a data like this and save it in an item proposal number. This all data is being saved in this particular item proposal number. And this number, whatever we generated, that will be assigned here in the item proposal. So from next time, whenever we create a sales order, system knows, okay, what material this customer is buying, and system will automatically copy all these particular into sales document. I'll show you. VA51, I guess it is, right? What is the key code? VA51. Okay, let's go to VA51. Server idle time is very low actually. VA51 and item proposal, we can give any number. Let's say I give a name as AQ under sales organization 1010. Sales organization 1010 That's not it. Okay, sorry. Proposal item PV. So here we can add the material. Okay, I'll say 100, 300, and the quantity what customer is buying is 1000. Okay, and description new item proposal. Save it. So an item proposal number has been generated, right? So now what we could do is we can take this item proposal number and go to customer master. It is 02. I'll assign to the existing customer itself. When this is an issue, once it is logged up, it has to clear the logs. Okay, I'll just put this all with the Himanshu and ask him to fix this issue. SM12. Select all, delete. Yes. Let's go to XD02. XD02. Okay, so now what we do is we go to sales area data, and in the item proposal we'll assign this number. Okay, it's a number 3, 4. Okay, let's save this customer. So the data has been updated into this customer. Now let's create a sales order for this customer. So this is also an important question in the interview, that is, how do we call up the item proposal into sales document? So we know what is item proposal, right? But how do we call up this item proposal into the sales order? So going VS01 or we're creating an order and sold to party is 1000, ship to party is also 1000. This feature is only in EHP 8 and S4 HANA. In ECC, you have to memorize everything, but in S4 HANA, system gives you drop-down suggestions like this. This feature was only from EHP 8, then it is taken into S4 HANA. But in ECC, you have to memorize everything. System will not propose any solutions. So, yeah, usually what happens, we enter the sold to party, ship to party, then we enter the material here, then we enter the order quantity here. But now we are going with the item proposal. So how do we call up the item proposal into a sales document? This icon. You see this icon next to the save button, the second icon. You click on this and okay, this pattern function. There's nothing to do with this. Okay. There is a calendar issue. Okay. So whatever we have assigned in the custom master, system should be able to pull up that particular data and show here, so that we have an option whether you want to copy all the item proposal data as it is, or if you want to ignore some item, you can ignore, or if you want to add more, you can add more. This all you could do it, but how does system know that? How do we call it? That is through whatever we assigned in the customer master, the item proposal tab, whatever we assign, that's how system knows, and item proposal will help us to create orders fast in. So once we fix the error, that calendar error, we could easily check that in the sales document. Then account at the customer. So let's say our customer is Galaxy Pharmacy. Okay, Galaxy Pharmacy is our customer. So for Galaxy Pharmacy, our business is a vendor, right? So the vendor also will maintain their customer details or their vendor details, right? So what is the name or number this customer has given to our business? Okay, to our business, what is the name or number this customer has given? Let's say 3333. Account at the customer. That means tomorrow, if we call this particular customer, we have to give some reference, right? So, like who is calling? That is this particular vendor or customer. Then price group. This is all related to the pricing, price group. So price group is again grouping of customers. So you take any price. That means if we are paying some amount, let's say for any product, if you are paying, let's say $100. How this $100 has come? How this $100 has come? On what basis? What is the calculation? That is, if you break down the price, any price, if you break down, there is some components for price. We call it as components. We call it as either elements or attributes, pricing components, pricing elements, anything you can call it as. How we arrive at this total price? That is, any price will have base price, then discount, then surcharge, then tax. When you put all these price elements together in a sequence and calculate, then you will be arriving at the final total price, right? So this is how actually the final total price would be calculated, or this is called as net value. So price group. What is this price group? That is customers sharing a group of customers who share the same pricing requirement. Okay, all dealers, as I told you, base price is $10. All dealers will get 1% discount. But at the same time, institutional customers will pay only $8 as a base price and they get 3% discount, right? So if for all institutional customers, this is applicable. For all the dealers, this is applicable. So grouping of customers who share same pricing requirement. So define a group customer who you want to give individual customer data. That is what happens here is if I have 100 customers, for each customer I need to mention this data, right? Let's say if I have 100 institutional customers, I need to maintain 100 records individually each for every customer, which is also called as data redundancy, duplication of data. Because if all the 100 customers are sharing the same data, why you need to repeat it 100 times? Again, for every customer, why don't we maintain a single record and assign that to all the customers? All right. So this will also help us to eliminate that particular data redundancy. So what is this price group? Grouping of customers who share same pricing requirements. You see, define a group of customers to whom you want to give same kind of discount. As I told you, all institutional will get 3% discount. Now I'll call all institutional customer as X1, a group. And what I'll do, if the customer, whatever I'm creating here, if this is an institutional customer, I'll assign X1 here. So when maintaining a price, I don't need to tell for every individual customer. I'll just tell system X1 customer, the price group of X1 customers will get 3% discount. That's it. Right. Then customer pricing procedure, this is a definition as of now. It's one of the parameters which will help us to determine pricing procedure into sales document. It is one of the pricing procedure. It's one of the parameter which will help us to determine pricing procedure into sales order. What is that? The functionality we'll see later what happens there. Then next, price list. This price list is also again grouping of customers. Okay. So it identifies a price list, for example, you see, customers who share same surcharge, that means same freight cost, or loading cost, or packing cost, or let's say customers who share the same discount. Okay, so you can define price list according to the needs of your organization. Price list can be grouped as, you see, wholesaler price, retailer price, institutional price. So again, you can just group basing on business requirement, whether it could be a discount or a surcharge, anything it could be. You could group into one and you can maintain only one record rather than maintaining. If you have 100 customers, rather than maintaining 100 records, you can maintain one record and assign it here so that all the customers will share the same value. We'll discuss this again when it comes to the pricing, how it works, actually, this functionality, right? So statistics, wherever you see statistics, so throughout as we proceed discussing other concepts as well, we see this particular statistics. Statistics is nothing but reporting, right? So whether you want to pass, SAP itself has a standard reporting like LIS and SIS, Logistics Information System, and Sales Information System. So you have a tool, but you need data, right, to analyze and give you the report. So if you want to include this customer data into the reporting tool or not, relevant for statistics, or you don't want to include it. So you can tell here system that whether you want to include this particular customer into reporting tools or not. Right? So that's what we have in the sales tab. So tomorrow we'll discuss these other tabs and we'll discuss the partner determination procedure. With that, we'll finish the complete customer master. Any questions for today? Please go ahead.
Number ranges for sold to, do we have any fixed number, 5 digits or 6 digits? Or
No. It's 10 characters. Any customer, it is 10 characters. Whether it is sold to, ship to, anything, it could be 10 characters is standard. And in the ECC, we have a gap or a limitation, that is business's very frequent requirement. This is because you go to a bank, okay, when you walk into a bank and you tell your account number, Can they identify you, whether you are a retail customer or an institutional customer? Can they identify you by your account number?
Depends. Maybe based on how they set up.
Right? Definitely they can easily identify because
Yes.
the way they set up the number, that means all the retail customers starts with 1 to 10,000, let's say. And all the corporate customers, maybe 10,000, 1 to 20,000. So if the number what you show to them, if it is between this, they easily know that you are a corporate customer or a retail customer. So that's how uniquely, if you want to identify, that means usually the business requirements would be alphanumerical. They want to do it like this. For all dealers, they want to start the series with a D. D1 to, let's say, D1000. All the institutions, they want to start it from I1 to I1000. It's pretty easy, right, to identify whether it's a dealer or institutional, but not possible. Either it could be alphabetical or numerical, but both alphanumerical is not possible. Very frequent requirement, very frequent enhancement. But now in S/4HANA, we can do this by default standard. Yeah. Any questions, anyone, please?
When we are adding in the pricing group, in the group also we need to add the customer list only, then only to pick the discounts or anything, right?
These two are two different parameters. Okay, these are nowhere related. This is completely different. You could see here. Here we are adding. See, it is up to the business requirement. These are allowed to group customers so that we could use in pricing. Okay, whether you will group basing on the volumes they buy, or basing on the distribution channel what the customer belong to, or depending upon what city they belong to, anything it could be, any grouping you can do it here. Let's say all the customers in Karnataka will pay $10. Maybe in Delhi, it's a different price. So you want to group all the customers from Karnataka, and what are the customer I'm creating here? If they want to, if this customer belong to Karnataka, that key will assign it here.
This group will create by SD or FI?
SD. Pricing is SD. So price group, if you want to create, same menu path. SPRO and the same menu path. Sales and distribution, master data, business partner. Under that sales, you will see this price group and price list. Any other questions?
While practicing for reconciliation account, I have given 1,40,000 number, what you have given in the class actually. It's not taking. So many times I tried.
Okay, so if that doesn't take, go to transaction FS00 and consider this 1,40,000 and you'll see a create icon or copy icon. Okay, and you can copy that 1,40,000 in the FS. It is there already in the study material how to do that steps. So you can take that FS 1,40,000 and you could copy and create your own GL account and assign even that. Because that GL account has to be extended to the company code. Okay, so that might be the error. So what you do is you copy 1,40,000 to a new GL account and extend it to your company code. That should work fine. There's no issue in that.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll call it a day today, catch up tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll complete this customer master, including PDG. Good day, everyone. Catch up tomorrow.
Upload Friday class and as well as
Friday it is uploaded, right? Friday is class 10, right? Friday is class 10, I see in the drive actually. Can you please check and text me on the WhatsApp, because I checked on drive and I could see it actually.
Class 10 is available.
Available, right? Class 10, yeah.
Yeah.
It's available. Please check.
And the S1
Okay.
also, please.
Definitely, I'll do that. Okay. Good, everyone. Catch up tomorrow. Bye bye.